All right, Shalom. Let me get straight into this lesson. I'm gonna play some of this video right here. I don't know how true this is. Let me show you what it is. It says Elon Musk, so-called Jesus, is black, and I brought proof. And I don't know how true this is, but I do like the presentation of this video because it's strictly going into facts. It was a lot of heavy points made in this short, in this video. I'm gonna finish watching this and I'm gonna do some more research and see if this is true. But I still want to use this to, go into this lesson. But in the minds of the, most of our people and most of the people in the world, when they think about the Messiah, they think about him being a so-called white man, like the infamous picture, right? Of Cesare Borgia from the Borgia family. That's what most of the people still see in their mind when they think about the Messiah. That's why a part of you waking up is seeing the correct image in your mind. That's I mean, if you're not in the truth, if you can't do that, if you don't understand that, and you still see that so-called white man that you was given, right? When you was a little kid, that image. If you still see that guy in your mind, you're not in the truth. You're still under the heavy brainwashing and indoctrination. And so-called white people don't like the truth, right? The Edomites, they don't like the truth. So when we bring out facts, I'm gonna get into three things that they do, right? So let's get into this video, then I'm gonna get into this lesson.
Jesus is black, with proof provided, has shattered centuries of tradition. Think about it. Could the face you've been taught to revere be a total lie? What is Elon Musk's proof, and why was Jesus' image?
And it's a total lie. The imagery, the pictures, the artwork that you've been given starting around the 1600s has all been lies, to propagate this false so-called white supremacy. And you so-called white people, you cannot handle the truth. That's just the truth. The Bible that you say you believe in is mostly, so-called black people. But again, it's like you got hot and cold. You know, Israelites and Edomites are not gonna never see eye to eye. So you Edomites, you so-called white people, if you go back into the lineage of Edomite, you're never gonna see the truth. You're never gonna admit to the truth. That's just how you're programmed. So don't even waste your time watching the video, commenting, just keep it moving. This ain't for you. I don't post your scriptures on this video. I'm gonna delete them. Right. So this is only for people that go back into the lineage of Israel, right, and that can understand the truth. That's called the elect or the chosen ones in the Bible. Them the only spirits in these bodies going to be able to understand. So let me play more of this.
Written. Jesus is black, with proof provided, has shattered centuries of tradition. Think about it. Could the face you've been taught to revere be a total lie? What is Elon Musk's proof, and why was Jesus' image rewritten? Join us as we look into Elon Musk's proof that Jesus is black. Elon Musk's proof that Jesus is black. Elon Musk seems to constantly be making headlines by offering his own take on Jesus, teachings, adding an Old Testament twist. He claims Jesus was...
Again, this is a disclaimer. I have not verified if this is true, but I'm just using this video to go into the facts. Like I said, I'm gonna do some research on that and see how true this is, because we know how you devils is. You're not gonna admit to the truth. So, but I'm using this to actually bring out facts. So get more into it.
Black, and he says he has proof to back it up. He points to the book of Daniel, where it describes the hair of the one to come, Jesus, as being like pure wool. Some say this means his hair was kinky. Then in the book of Revelation, it says Jesus' feet were like burnished bronze, which suggests he had brown skin. Joan Taylor, the author of What Did Jesus Look Like?, agrees, saying Jesus probably looked like modern-day Iraqis, with dark brown hair and olive skin. So according to her, Jesus was likely a typical black man, not the blonde-haired, blue-eyed surfer dude we often see, but it raises some big questions.
Did you hear that? It's heavy.
Was this misrepresentation on purpose? When did his image change?
Of course it was on purpose. Going back into the book of First Maccabees 3 and 48, they had to do this, part of this, a big part of this was prophetic, that the earth will be given into the hands of the wicked, and what they would do is whitewash all history, and they would put themselves up as the victor, right? They will put themselves up as the greatest people in the whole earth, yet they're not. Yet they have stolen and raped, robbed, and took everything that they have. And these descendants that you see today, right, of Edomites are accessory to a crime. And all the shame and guilt covers them, and they start deflecting. I'm gonna get into what they do, right? And they call us names. The first they're gonna say is hate speech. That's their first go-to. When that doesn't work, I'm gonna get into it, but let's get more into this.
What you're about to hear might just change everything you thought you knew. Now there's a growing call for the black race to rise and reclaim what's rightfully theirs. History has often downplayed the contributions of black people to humanity and ignored the ancient power of the black race.
Right. So we're not black people. That's another social construct that you've been taught in this system. Our ethnicity, our race, it goes back into Hebrew Israelites. We're not black Hebrew Israelites because you got all the other tribes that's not considered so-called black. And you got Israelites that look like other nations because of all the mingling. So that black narrative is dead. We're gonna nip that in the bud right now. And this white narrative is dead. There's no such thing as black and white people. I'm gonna go into a lesson dealing with that. But let me play a little bit more of this. I'm gonna get into this lesson.
The Bible doesn't directly say what Jesus' race or skin color was, but it leads.
And that's a lie because it does say, it says our Lord sprang out of Judah. He was a Hebrew Israelite from the tribe of Judah. And its description is in the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and 13, and Daniel 10 and 6. And I know what you people are gonna say. You people are out of your mind. You're gonna say, well, that was a spiritual body. Right? So if he was a so-called black man in the spiritual body, that means when he was on earth, he was a so-called black man. It's just common sense. He wouldn't be a so-called white man in the flesh and then go back into the spirit body and be a so-called black man. That don't make sense. Make it make sense. And that's what you can't control the narrative anymore. Those days are over. And I know a lot of you people in shock. Let's get into this lesson. Give me 1 second. But this lie has been broken down. 1 second. And again, it's been the biggest lie that's ever been told in history. And that's why they keep you distracted with the celebrity gossip, the sports, the entertainment, to keep you from really focusing on what's important. 2 Ezra 6 and 28. It says, as for faith, it should flourish. So in a time when the elect is being activated, woken up, growing, learning every day. It says corruption shall be overcome. And the truth, which have been so long without fruit. So the truth been hid. It's been deceit, deception, and confusion on the masses of the people. They've been under this plantation Christianity, as we call it, shall be declared. So we're declaring the truth to you. We're telling you what you've been taught is lies, and we're bringing the truth. And what so-called white America do, they go through this process here. The first one, I'm going to go, 3 of them is denial. Right. So once they, he'll get a whiff of what we're saying, one of the first things they do is denial. What is denial? It says the action of declaring something to be untrue. So that's the first step that these people do, right? They're going to denial. And then once they get proven wrong, right, let's go to here. They deflect. So once we go into these scriptures, like the book of Revelations, chapter 1 and 13, through 14, in Daniel 10 and 6, I'm actually getting into that. And we prove that the Messiah will be labeled a so-called black man in today's terminology, right? They deflect after that. So they come out of the denial phase, right, and come into the deflection stage. And that goes into what I'm going to get into next. So they'll say this right here. This is them deflecting, right? So they'll say color don't matter. That's one of the main rebuttals that they'll say. Or they'll say he was Middle Eastern. Middle Eastern is a made-up term. It's not an ethnicity called Middle Eastern people. That term was phrased, it was created out of thin air, like how they call us black and Hispanic and Native American. There's no such thing as Middle Eastern people. That region is known as Asia, but they renamed it, right, the Middle East, and they renamed the other part of Asia, Europe, right, to cause confusion, to create these social constructs. It says, then, what they'll say too is the Bible doesn't say how he looked, and that's another lie, right? So we can go into the Bible and show you that. And they'll say he was olive skinned, or they'll say he was fair skinned. What they're trying to do is get away from saying so-called black. And he wasn't the color black. you know, he was a dark brown skinned man. You people don't even know your colors. So deflect, that's another main thing they do, right? So once they deflect, they're going to them things I showed you. What is deflection? It says cause something to change direction by interposing something, turn aside from a straight course. So our people deflect, they'll start calling us names, and it's going to go into the next phase of what they do. Demonize, right? So that's why they call us a hate group. They say we in a cult. And a lot of you stupid jakes, you fall for these same tricks that they've been doing. You're not able to understand what they're doing. That's why I'm breaking it down to you so you can get it. And all this is just to keep their false so-called white supremacy intact and put you down, demonize. It says portray as wicked and threaten, and they literally say that. Now you do got some jakes that take it overboard, right? They'll go to extremities, but what we saying, we speaking from the Bible, the words from the Most High God, you know, Yahweh. There is the word ignorantly calls God and ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. We declaring their true names. We telling you that's not their names. Just because you ignorant and you understand that ignorant mindset don't mean we're gonna stay there. That's insanity, right? So can nothing overthrow the truth? Let's go to Daniel 10:6. And this for you Christians that's still in confusion. So you Edomites will play stupid, you'll play dumb, like you don't know what we're saying, but you know exactly what we're saying. You're going through those different phases. Denial, deflection, and then demonize. Daniel 10:6. It says right here, it says, described a vision of a man with the following physical features. So who was this man that was described? And what was his description? So let's go to Daniel 10:6 commentary. Right? Some of your so-called white scholars know what time it is, right? We'll use your own resources to do you in. Let's go here. It says Daniel 10:6. Matthew Henry's concise commentary. It says the chapter relates the beginning of Daniel's vision, where it continued to the end of the book. The time would be long before all would be accomplished, and much of it is not yet fulfilled. It says Christ appeared to Daniel in a glorious form. So that was Yahweh Mashiach, right? So that was the Messiah, and his name not Christ. And let me show you something. For you people that's still in denial, you going through one of these phases: denial, deflection, and demonize. Right? It says right here. So he had an actual spiritual body. It says going into this description, you go to arms and feet. It says look like burnished bronze. When you go to burnished bronze, let's go to that imagery. You see right here. This would be a so-called black man today, not a Middle Eastern man, because they'll say that to deflect. Again, because they're in denial. Then they go to demonize. So this is clear as day. Then you go to Revelations chapter 1 and 13 that gives us, you know, through 14, 15, have wool, feet like they've been burned in a furnace. And his feet is going to be the same color the rest of his body is. So he'll be labeled as a so-called black man in today's terms. And this is not common knowledge. Most people don't understand this, and nor do they care to understand this. But we understand this and we care because it's the truth, right? And the truth is everything, you know, whether you want to deal with it or not. All right, hopefully this lesson was edifying. Call Hala Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakat, Kodash. Shalom.